And we're in game. So it is a brand new best of 3 here. Of course, GSL style groups means we have 5 best of 3s here for you guys tonight. And we've already got one of them out of the way, that's ZVZ. And we don't really have much hope for a mirror matchup for the rest of the night, unless we get Petraeus advancing through that losers match and Tefel losing his winners match. But of course, before we even get to those matches, we have to find out who will be playing each of them. And of course, it's going to be between these two players. So, to the south side of the map from Root Gaming, ladies and gentlemen, it is Kelazhur. And to the upper side of the map, the red Protoss player from Evil Geniuses, Hook. Let me just very quickly add that to the overlay, guys, so that you guys can, because I know for a fact someone will ask who is the barcode, or be wondering who is the barcode. So let's just add it to the overlay and save ourselves a little bit of questions in the chat. There we go, nice and easy. Awesome. Now I'll probably forget that that's there, and when we load up into the load up into the next game, and Kelazhur is on the top side of it, when Kelazhur is on the top also, it's gonna be I'm gonna forget about it. I'm gonna make a mess of my overlay, but anyways, let us introduce. We've introduced our players. Let's see what these guys are going to do. I mean, okay, it's just going to be a Reaper opening here for Kelazhur. Very standard stuff. I mean, the Reaper early on going to be able to allow him to scout, get an idea as to what Hook is wanting to do here on Varney Research Station. And of course, it follows very nicely into that reactor, few Marines out, and into the factory as well. If that's what Kelazhur wants to do, he could pull out of gas also if he wishes. And from there, of course, he has that possibility just to go straight up to 3 racks. Although I think the last time I saw Kelazhur playing some TVP, it was actually against Mind Sanity's Rain, and it was one hell of a game on Cactus Valley, and he was able to just about pull through in it, and he did take that victory. Actually, it was in the SC2 ITL. It was the match which knocked Root Gaming out of the it was the match which knocked Root Gaming out of the SC2 ITL playoff race. And yeah, well, let's see where this goes. I mean, again, it looks as though he will just keep on mining gas. So reactor, factory on the way soon, and start heading in towards those mine jobs, which of course have been oh so popular in the TVP matchup. Once this SCV right now to the north side of the map, just seeing what's going on, Cybercore, Gateway, and he's going to come check the natural, where he will find a Nexus started for his opponent. So no real surprises coming out of the early game from Hook. Nothing on the map, no proxy pylons or anything. And again, that's what this Reaper SCV combination is just really hoping to confirm right now. The initial SCV will have seen these first couple of pylons, and that's really nice because it gives the Reaper a little bit of an idea as to where exactly to scout later in the game, where to expect those tech buildings to be built. And behind the mineral line is one of the more popular places. It's going to be quite hard for the Reaper to get in there, especially with a wall-off set up over here. You'd have to go through the mineral line, which is always going to be a little bit of a risk. We're going to actually try and pick off a probe or two here, and some nice control coming out of Hook to keep them alive. Of course, his mothership core is moving across the map, which is the reason he is having to fight this with probes right now until this Stalker comes out, and he's just going to lose a second one, and the Stalker's not going to quite catch that Reaper. It's going to be able to get away. Can this mothership core get any damage done? Even if it doesn't, I feel as though the point of this for Hook is just to try and get some information as to what is his opponent doing. Is he going into that factory? Is he going into those extra racks? He comes in here. It looks as though he's going to try and cancel this, or not cancel, but slow down this command center. And with only 2 Marines on the map, this mothership core will do a pretty good job. He's actually going to continue chasing these Marines coming in towards the main base. I'm surprised he's more interested in killing off this SCV and slowing the command center than actually just looking to see if it's a factory or barracks follow-up. I feel as though that sort of information is potentially the best information you could probably get from this. He is going to run south of this mothership core. I'd be surprised if he actually recalled out of there. Probably going to distract with the Stalker at the front door, force them Marines to come back towards the front, and then try and escape with the mothership core once it has some shields. He actually picks up another SCV kill, so Hook returning in the favour of this Reaper, which again has been trying to come back into this main base, and it has actually seen the Twilight Council, which is finished up for Hook back at home. Mothership core is actually heading towards the mineral line here. We'll see what he's going to try to achieve. The Stalker taking a little bit of damage, deeper though, having to be cancelled at the front, and again Hook just been annoying here and there. 4 kills now on his mothership core, really actually racking up the damage here. So a little bit of an interesting game where we're seeing actually a lot of early aggression compared to what you'd usually expect. Twilight Council is researching that blink right now for Hook, but he is just popping down the robo facility as well, so not really got too many yeah, it's kind of weird. He's not really got yeah. He's not really going to commit to the blink, right? He's not going to like warp in a bunch of stalkers and be super aggressive or anything. He's just going to use this defensively and look to start getting his observers up as well, get that map vision going for him, and see what else he can do from there. I'm surprised this Mothership Core is still here. Marines have been chasing it from left to right, and we're actually in an interesting scenario where it's probably going to have to recall back home. And right now, it's not home to drop in a photon overcharge against this initial incoming attack. So there are 4 stalkers, which should be enough. As again, you have to be so careful with this. There's that recall home. Of course, he does. Well, he doesn't have a photon overcharge just yet. He will have another one. Well, what would be usually be the second one in about 10 seconds or so. So he will have a photon overcharge, but he has to use it very carefully. He has to really think about when exactly he would like to try and utilize this here. Another stalker being warped in. Blink not quite finished. Ooh, that's a bit of a mistake by Kelazhur. Losing this. Yeah, losing this so quickly is really not really how it's meant to go. You're losing that medevac, and you should at least boost the medevac away and just keep it over to this side. And you could probably loop back in and pick up those Marines. That was a really bad start for Kelazhur, honestly. I mean, losing that medevac, all 7 Marines in mine, doesn't do any damage at all, apart from taking the shields off of a pylon. But of course, they're going to regenerate, so really no damage done so far. Hook looking to expand, perhaps? He was moving his SCV out, okay, probe out, sorry. And he is in fact going to expand, but unfortunately he got there a little bit too late to realise that the Widow Mine is there, and that's 1 probe which Hook will not be able to save. So Kelazhur finally found a way to get a little bit of damage done, and well, behind this he's gone straight up to these extra 3 racks. He's adding on barracks 4 and 5 right now as well. Another medevac on the way out. Kind of an interesting opening for Kelazhur. I mean, usually we would see a second medevac and a second mine drop coming out. But I feel as though maybe it's just the way he's been distracted early on against by that Mothership Core. Could perhaps change his mind. I mean, he doesn't have to make that second medevac so soon anyway. He did make it eventually, and just get it out here just while that reactor was building. Now he can start reactoring out the medevacs. A bit supply blocked right now, but once he gets out of this supply block, reactor out those medevacs, and he should be pretty much all good to go. Move across the map and start applying a little bit more pressure here. And of course, from there it's going to be up to Hook to defend. And again, it's going to be quite difficult here on Varney. Natural expansion, 3rd base, quite far away from each other, so Hook's really going to have to sit tight on these observers and really make the best of them. Make sure he keeps an eye on that minimap so he can start to respond into wherever those medevacs may be trying to drop units ASAP. You know, the faster you have stalkers in position, the better, because them stalkers, they're really going to be able to shut down the medevacs, and shutting them down, stopping them before they get into your base is one of the best ways of being able to deal with it. So continue to move across the map here. Kelazhur is going to start picking off well, it doesn't quite pick off a couple of these stalkers, but it gets a little bit of damage onto them. And I mean, just blinking away, no real surprise. I mean, he shouldn't lose a stalker, obviously, as well. Is he going to lose this one? Hook. I actually don't think he's realised. I think it's one of these things where he's probably getting the one like, oh, your unit's under attack, but he just didn't realise, and this hero Marine takes down the stalker. Wow, that is incredible. A pylon at the front here going to get taken down as well, and I mean, it's kind of nice because it keeps an eye on where that army is, but not for too long. It's actually a very interestingly placed pylon, because it's almost just, you know, what else is it going to do other than die? Because, I mean, maybe see a medevac shooting across here. It's quite far out though. These observers well placed though, keeping an eye on these 3 medevacs for now. The next medevacs are on the way across the map with a few more units, and the 3rd base on the way for Kelazhur, so quite interesting for Hook to have that 3rd nexus so much sooner than his opponent. Warp isn't going to pick up and start dropping in towards the mineral line now, and this is where things get a little bit dicey for the Terran players. He actually has got some units rallied in towards his main base, so he's looking okay for now. As here we go, drop in towards the main, and this is going to do a lot of damage because Hook doesn't really have the units here to defend this right now. 3 SCVs, 5 SCVs killed on the natural of Kelazhur. Here come the reinforcing units though, as at the same time Kelazhur's going to try and run into that 3rd base, but Cannon 2 Colossi a little bit too much right now here, as these stalkers, there's just not enough stalkers. This Mothership Core going to try and get in position. He's going to time warp, but he's going to drop forward overcharge too. I feel as though the time warp's just not going to help at all though. I mean, maybe stop him from running up this ramp for a little while. 8 workers killed back at home, back at Kelazhur's base though, so despite being in the main base here, Kelazhur's struggling to find damage. I mean, he's training against units, but that's about it. He will be cleaned up. He kills the robo facility, which is a pretty big pick-off. And gets away with 1 medevac of units, a 2nd medevac alongside it. So, weird situation. I kind of like Kelazhur's position though. I mean, he kills that robo facility, he really slows down any further tech from his opponent. And that means he can really kind of slow down, you know, how, you know, he can really just commit to Vikings a lot later. I mean, he's already committing to Vikings quite late here. So yeah, he's going to be able to commit into those a lot later on. It's interesting. It's an interesting game right now. I mean, sniping that robo, Tuck's going to throw down the Templar Archives instead. Kelazhur's going to keep moving across the map. I'd love to see just another drop straight into that natural. I mean, obviously the route he took the first time was fantastic, so same again, bit more of the same, and he does lift up a couple of medevacs. You know, I would even, again, just go for free medevacs, because free medevacs of units is so difficult to deal with anything other than, you know, a little bit of splash damage, and again, he's limited the splash damage right now. That one Templar walked in at the front here. Do we have another one elsewhere? No, it's just the one. I mean, a couple in towards the natural would be very useful in terms of being able to feedback. And here we go, Hook going to come in here. Sorry, Kelazhur going to come in here. These Stalkers for Hook not going to be target firing these medevacs immediately. And these are always going to take a little while to stim. That wouldn't mind being left behind. And Kelazhur not getting much over. He's done stem forwards at the third base once again though, but Zealot Runby is doing some big damage back at the third base of Kelazhur. So again, these guys, Kelazhur starts dropping and Hook starts getting Zealots on the other side of the map, and it looks as though, I mean, once again, Kelazhur's the only guy who's really taking damage, and finally he's going to find himself a few probes to pick away at. Hook can't really come into this with just 2 Colossi. This is an army which, well, until a couple of months ago, probably had enough hit points, enough power in it to just split up and, you know, collapse onto the Colossi, with there only being 2 of them here. But now with Storm finishing, Hook should start to feel a little bit safer to actually engage this. And as he's just going to move across the map, he has been killing quite a few of these medevacs. You know, considering that, I mean, okay, there's more and more medevacs on the way all the time, but still no Vikings, so you really want to try and keep that medevac count high, and losing a few of them here and there is the last thing you want to do. You know, losing the units you drop isn't so bad, but I think you really want to try and keep alive the, I think the one thing you really want to keep alive is actually the medevacs, as that would mind actually hitting the Colossus in the back. It's kind of interesting because there is Storm available, but of course the Storm has to be able to land. If the Storm doesn't land, then this army is actually very weak from Hook. It means a handful of Stalkers, a couple of Templar, a couple of Colossi. He has to be very careful here, walking back across these lines. Okay, there's the Observer, going to clean this out. Oh, there's the Storms going down. Nice 3 Storms, and they'll just zone away the army. Units coming in from behind as well, though, just badly timed by Kelazhur. It's giving Hook so much time to just start cleaning up the south side, but he loses his Colossi again. There was only 2 of them after losing that robo facility. He's got it back up now. He's starting to rebuild another, but Hook loses this fight in the middle of the map. He's going to be pushed all the way back home, where he does have a Colossus waiting for him, but he lost all of his Templars there. The flank from Kelazhur seemed late, but it was good enough. It took down those Colossi, and that's all which really mattered. Getting rid of those, the rest of the army was pretty damn weak. Again, once them Storms had landed, and you know, Kelazhur still had units left over, the rest of the army really did just melt, especially with, again, the split, the surround. And right now, Kelazhur once again going to start putting on the pressure. Constant stream of Terran units coming across the map, and again, these Widow Miners being mixed in. Again, may just be time to send just a single medevac across into this natural. I mean, even if you just landed here or so, it can just be so annoying to deal with. Although, look at that, I think Hook's actually thinking the same as I am. He's thinking, what great time to go drop me, as I'm so scared of your attack at the front after losing a fight in the middle of the map. So Hook is just going to get them Stalkers into a position where they can defend if they want to. There is a couple of medevacs over to this side, and they will now lift up, so he is going to start going for this, and Hook is not really realising it, and Kelazhur is going to fly straight into these cannons, but he will begin to unload, and he will be able to get them, the rest of these units out here. Scans continue to come down, trying to clear these Observers. He cleans out the cannons, and he will be able to clean out, well, not too much else. He's going to lose the medevacs once again. These drops just don't seem to be doing all too much. You know, again, killing off a couple of units, keeping Hook busy, killing off a couple of cannons, but no real damage being done. Nice mine hits, gonna really soften up those Zealots, but a huge Storm initially. It wasn't the best, but Kelazhur's army waltzed right into it for the full brunt of the damage. Another mine gonna be huge here on these Zealots, and again, just continue to soften them up. The Stalkers now eating a little bit of that as well. And Kelazhur really needs to get another Observer out onto the map here, get these Widow Mines cleaned up, and secure the outside of his third base. Behind all of this, Kelazhur taking his own 4th. Upgrades continue to roll in for him. He's about to be 2-2 against just +3 armor. That +1 weapons coming in for Hook, but that'll be 4 upgrades against just 3 essentially. And so Kelazhur with a slight upgrade lead. In a few moments' time, will he be able to make anything of it? This cannon comes up and will help to clean out these Widow Mines, but once again drop into the main base. This time 4 medevacs units, and when you have 4 medevacs units, look how much damage they can do. This time the Stalkers, okay, they weren't in position to start picking them off anyway, they weren't cannons, but absolutely nothing is dying here, and Hook is in a lot of trouble. In fact, Hook's just moving across the map. He's just saying, let's fight, let's do this. You know, you want to just keep on dropping me, you can keep on dropping me. But I'm just going to fight Hook, swapping in reinforcements here back at home to try and defend, but I'm not really sure it's going to be enough. I suppose he's just trying to slow his opponent down. I guess what he's saying is, I just have enough already to move across the map and fight. And it's going to be down to these 4 Colossi, 4 Templar as well. So I mean, there is a lot here for Hook, and look how much damage them Colossi are doing. Can Kelazhur hold on? That is going to be the question. Widow Mine's going off, and again, soften up these Zealots, and the more damage these Zealots take, the less there is to tank for these Colossi. I know, once again, a bit of a flank going to start coming in, and it's mostly Marauders, so these Colossi are going to fall very quickly. A lot of SCVs going down, though. Hook really making the most of this, but back at home, he's losing his production. He's taking a lot of damage from this drop. He loses his entire army at the front as well. Yes, Kelazhur loses a lot of SCVs, but the army is waiting longer. To the bottom right-hand corner here on Coda, we have the blue Terran player from Root Gaming, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, that was a bit of a fail. What happened there? Kelazhur. There we go. In the other left corner of the map, the red Protoss player from Evil Genius is down a game right now. Can he pull it back? It is going to be Hook. It's a very interesting game, number 1. In all honesty, it was there's a lot of there's a lot of interesting things going on there. I really felt as though Hook was doing well. I mean, the drops didn't seem to be doing too much. They were trading against Stalkers and stuff, but they weren't really doing damage. And again, it was kind of 2 medevacs at a time, and they kept getting killed off before they really did much. And you know, they got the unit stab, but the medevacs got killed off. And Bio, once it's stimmed a couple of times, it's all of a sudden very dealable with. That's not really dealable. That's not really a word. There must be a better word to say that, but it didn't seem as though Kelazhur's drops were doing too much, but that one drop that went into the natural, Hook just decided to go across the map against it, and he wasn't really able to deal with it back at home, and his attack across the map unfortunately just didn't quite have enough with it. The Zealots was so... I feel as though if the Zealots hadn't taken so much damage from the mines as they moved across the map, they might have been okay, but the Zealots were so bruised and battered that, you know, Kelazhur got through them very quickly, and he was able to have quite a lot left over to continue fighting with. And of course he had again a little bit of a flank, but it's another one of them things. If there was a few more Zealots, he could have afforded to have a few Zealots coming in the back as well. Of course he was spending a lot of his warpings across the map, which is always a little bit of a scary thing, so he didn't have everything possible there in that one engagement. So anyways, we do have a Nexus on the way down here from Hook. No real surprises. Once again, the Reaper into the main base. This time a Stalker in position to deal with it, and no damage done here. Sorry, one worker killed. Was that a scouting worker? No, it wasn't. So just one worker killed here by Kelazhur. Apologies for missing that here early on, but nothing too major. I hope you guys agree. So factory on the way up now, and a couple of Marines being added on. And oh, is Kelazhur supply blocked? I don't think that should have happened. I think his build... yeah, I don't think he should have been supply blocked. Because I mean, if there's a Zealot move called Stalker thing coming across the map right now, being supply blocked when you make your first Marines is a little bit of a problem. That being said, I guess he would have probably identified it and built his depot before the CC. I mean, there's basically 2 ways to open with a Reaper opening, and it's to build your second depot before your CC or after your CC. And of course, it's a very minor difference, but after your CC is better because you get the CC down a little bit sooner. I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it without being supply blocked, and Kelazhur once again supply blocked here, just waiting for that CC to finish up. I mean, obviously that's part of the build, but a little bit off. Something just seems a little bit off here. I'm not quite sure if it's just me being a little bit silly, but a little bit interesting. Anyways, Twilight Council is going to be finishing up in a few moments' time here for Hook once again. This time around, has it been spotted by that Reaper? No, not just yet. But of course, the Reaper is still alive, and he's taking a long loop around the middle of the map. Which feels as though it's going to result in a jump up into the main base in this location here to try and go for that little bit of a scout. But Mothership Core and Stalker ready to greet the Reaper, and that's going to be no scouting information at all here for Kelazhur until he spends the scan. So he sees the Twilight Council, he sees Blink on the way, and this is nice. I mean, okay, he had to scan to see. Okay, he didn't see it with the Reaper, but oh, I completely forgot what I was trying to say. So, yeah, so he came in with 3B, he got denied, and of course he sees it anyway, but customer scan. So still nice from Hook to deny the Reaper, essentially costing Kelazhur some earlier minerals. A couple of Stalkers coming in, and they're going to try and get this SCV, and that's a nice little SCV kill for free here. First, a couple of Widow Mines are sitting in a medevac right now, and they're going to start boosting across the map. So, Kelazhur again looking to put on this little bit of pressure early on, adding on another Widowmine. No extra medevac just yet, but he's only really just got the money for it if he wants to add it on. And just adding on a couple of bunkers. He really just wants to make sure he's going to be safe against this incoming potential blink aggression. He's already seen a couple of stalkers at the front, so again, he feels as though right now there is that potential for Hook to really be warping in behind this and to really be committing to a little bit of a fight, a little bit of an attack here. These couple of mines are going to start dropping off here in the main base. And oh, Hook's not responding at all. These are going to be some big kills. 9 workers killed in the main. And wow, what's going on in the natural? I mean, he seems to have everything focused over the natural, but drops the phone overcharge a little bit late there. Kelazhur didn't move across the map with his marines, and if he had, he might have been able to get something done. Then again, it's not the smartest thing to do, because with Blink on the map, you can never really be safe with unupgraded marines moving out. So you do have to be a little bit careful, and that's probably why he did decide to just stay back at home. Observer moving down, we'll see where this medevac is, sees it's still nearby, and Kelazhur will just be waiting for that phone overcharge to run out. There's the next wave of units coming across the map. There's that second medevac up and rolling as we would sort of expect. And Kelazhur, ooh, he's going to get blinked upon. He's going to lose this medevac. The Widowmines will actually burrow, so they're going to stay alive, and in fact, whoa, he's going to unburrow them a little bit too soon, really. And these Swords will be able to get away because of high ground vision, allowing them to blink up there in towards that main base. So no real surprise there, as Widowmine, a few marines going to actually pick off a observer, which is really nice. He's going to keep trying to push forward. He's going for that mothership core. He gets it. He's going to get a sentry as well. Nice expensive units. As he drops down to 8 marines, he should just pick up and evacuate here with the medevac. He still has this Widowmine, and Hook very much so aware of that, not moving forwards into the position where it will be able to slowly pick away at those stalkers. 4th and 5th rocks on the way down from Kelazhur as he continues here back at home to just build up and get ready to go with the next stage of his build, which is of course just the standard Terran mid game, kind of stim pack the bio. The medevac's on the way out. No reactor on that starport just yet, but I would be surprised if he doesn't start here in the next few moments. Where's that medevac gone? Medevac came all the way back home. I'm really surprised he didn't. He lost so many more marines than he needed to by not picking up and evacuating with the medevac here. A couple of blinks blink forward by the stalkers, and a few more marines going to go down. Turret on the way up in the natural. And these stalkers continue to just move around here a little bit, unsure as to where exactly they want to be. Third Nexus on the way up for Hook. So this time the third Nexus is a little bit later, going to be behind the third CC of the Terran player. And Hook just adding on extra gateways here as we speak. Just, again, preparing for his own mid-game, preparing to be on 3 bases. Colossi on the way out. He's looking good so far, looking solid. Not really much to complain about for Hook, apart from losing them initial 9 workers, which has actually put him a bit down in terms of the economy. If he hadn't lost those initial 9 workers, things would be looking a lot better for him right now, I feel. As an observer here and there, just patrolling around, trying to see what's up, trying to see what is going on. Third CC gonna finish building. Another nice scan, another observer picked off there. Good vision by Kelazhur, good map awareness and paying attention to the details. Gonna salvage this bunker now as a couple of medevacs moving around, just be able to send move out into the map with this army. And again, start applying pressure here as Stimpack finishes. I mean, what's really out here? Not too much. I mean, he's going to probably approach the third base. He could drop in towards the main where there's only a handful of stalkers. There is that photon overcharge available. Let's see what he decides to do. Moving through the middle of the map, that stalker did see this army coming across here. So again, Hook knows that this army is now active on the map. He knows it's something he has to be aware of. And I like this with the stalkers, using them as essentially kind of just scouting. You know, obviously it's very APM intensive, but you do always have that blink, and the ability to just blink away just like that is means that you can basically see what's going on and get away very quickly. Oh, 2 Colossi in the middle of nowhere. Force fields coming down. I don't know. I felt as though they were very well placed force fields to actually stop the Terran army advancing forwards, but them 2 Colossi really seem to be kind of on their own over there, which is a very scary place for them to be. Big warping is that down to the southeast side of the map, and they're going to start moving towards the base of Kelazhur. Bad timing though, they're about to run straight through these couple of medevacs, and they're going to be intercepted by this bio army. The left hand side of the map might have been a better place to warp in these zealots, because with the left hand side of the map, at least they would have been able to send them straight in towards that third base and not through the rally path of the Terran. Every single one of these zealots is going to go down, apart from one. Okay, no, he makes it away as well. As Again, guys, sorry, it's a little bit spiky right now. I feel as though it's just because we're on an A. I'm not really sure. We're getting quite a few spikes, so I'm trying to fix it, but I'm not really sure why. Trying to these units here trying to move through these rocks and just open up the map a little bit, open up the attack paths, and this makes it a little bit easier for them to attack in towards this third base. Few stalkers moving out forwards onto the map. We have a drop of widow mines going in towards the lane. They are going to try and burrow, but one of them will one of them will be able to burrow and will actually pick off a single stalker, but definitely not worth the the medevac and the 2 widow mines. So nice defense again by Hookers. Oh, a big lift up of units here. What's he going to try and do? Is he going to try and... I mean, was he meant to lift them up? Is he going to try and drop behind the rest of the army? Is he trying to bait Hook forwards into this and then boost over and again just drop on top of the army? I'm a little bit intrigued as to what he's trying to do. Is he trying to say to Hook, you know, I barely have anything here, you should be careful because I've got units heading towards your main base? I think he's just trying to mind game Hook a little bit, because otherwise it doesn't really make too much sense. Moving towards the center here, Kelazhur going to be, well, just regrouping a little bit. Again, he's still got these units in the medevacs. Now he will load up 1 more medevac, and that will be 4 medevacs able to move in towards this main base. 3 extra cannons coming into the south side of this mineral line, but they're not going to help out just yet. And here we go, nice one, overcharge coming in very, very quickly. And oh no, Hook's got 2 Colossi out in the middle of the map. That's very nice, easy pickings here for Kelazhur. He's going to start trading here against whatever is running in from Hook, and he only loses 8 supply of units. And now the third base, well, Storm's available and there is Templar here, so it should be okay-ish for Kelazhur to attack right into this. Ooh, nice Storms though. Widowmine's starting to go off here, there and everywhere. The nice blink backwards that time. As 1 more Widowmine will pick off a cell and do some splash. Back into the main base, we have medevacs going in here, dropping off these units once again, and Kelazhur just sitting in this position again, looking to try and pick off whatever he can. He's killing off these zealots here, and after this it will be the probes which will start to fall as the cannons get cleaned out. The forward overcharge wears off as well. At the same time, it looks as though Kelazhur wants to take a fight out the front door, and this army is sitting on top of these Widowmines. That Colossus is just going to get out of range in time, but now the Widowmines are going to zone these units out, and the Widowmine hits are going to be huge onto the Zealots. So many, in fact every single Zealot taken down. Hook is losing so much right now. He is not going to be able to get anything done here with this army anymore, I don't think. Nice Storm lands, and again is weakening the Terran player, but there's just not enough here, and Kelazhur comes through with the 2-0, guys, against Hook.